Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jnana Timirandasya Janagana Salakaya Ajmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manavata Bhutale Guru Vaishnava Sahitam Krishna Sadhu Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhupada Gada Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 5. Hi, my name is Trivikram Swami. I joined Iskcon in 1968, and I took initiation in 69. Second initiation also in 1971. I took sannyas. And since then, I've been serving the Prabhupada to the best of my ability. Thank you for listening.
Hare Krishna. We are very fortunate to have His Holiness Trivikram Swami Maharaj with us. As Maharaj was telling, Maharaj took sannyas in 1971. He is the senior most sannyasi in Iskcon right now. Maharaj's age is one of the Jayapataka Maharaj is 55 years of sannyas and Maharaj is 54 years. Maharaj is now 84. So Maharaj is traveling all over the world and Maharaj is telling recently
Here I am.
So one quotation of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada writes to a letter, in a letter to Mukunda, Los Angeles, he says, so far as Trivikrama is concerned, he is a super first class brahmachari. His service attitude, his submission is very nice, although he is still a new member. So Maharaj travels all over the world, and recently Maharaj was telling that I would like to spend a lot of time in India. When Maharaj came here, he personally desired that he wishes to visit Hyderabad, and we are so blessed. So we'll welcome Maharaj by once chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
That's a difficult introduction to live up to. And I can, because I'm not very good at Sanskrit. Who's going to do this verse here? Oh, that's what the difference, yeah. It's not coming down. It's stuck. So bring it down. It's in, it's in. Maybe I should just have a book. Okay, we got it. So this is prose, huh? So you're good at that, right? Huh? I'm not good at this. Okay. Number 12.
Hare Krishna. अथ कथञ्चित् स्खलेन कुत्पतन्. We'll read only once, no repetition. अथ कथञ्चित् स्खलेन कुत्पतं जृम्भेन दुरवस्थानादिषु विवशानां न स्मरणाय जरमरणदशायानमपि सकलकश्मलनिरसनानि तव गुणकृतानामधेयानि वचनगोचराणि भवन्तु.
Ata, still. Katanchit, somehow or other. Shakalana, stumbling. Shut, hunger. Patana, falling down. Bimbana, yawning. Durastana, because of being placed in an undesirable position. Adisu, and so on. Vivashana, unable. Na, of ourselves. Samranaya, to remember. Dvara, okay, let's go. Dvara, Marana, Dasayam, in case of having a high fever at the time of death. Api, also. Sakala, all. Kashmala, sins. Nirasani, nani, which can dispel. Tava, your. Guna, attributes. Pita, activities. Namadeyani, names. Vachana, gocharani, possible to be uttered. Avantu, let them become. Translation and purport. By His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Dear Lord, we may not be able to remember your name, fame, and qualities due to stumbling, hunger, falling down, yawning, or being in a miserable disease condition at the time of death, when there is a high fever. We therefore pray unto you, O Lord, for you are very affectionate to your devotees. Please, please help us remember you and utter your holy names, attributes, and activities which can dispel all the reactions of our sinful lives. That's all right? So the devotees are praying that they, somehow or other, they can remember Krishna at the time of death. King Kulishekar prays like that also. That He says, let me die now when my consciousness is good, because at the time of death, I may be choked up and so on. So here's Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada's purport. The real success in life is Ante Narayana Smriti, remembering the holy names, attributes, activities, and form of the Lord at the time of death. So this is what we're gearing up for in Iskcon and the Krishna conscious movement. We're preparing for death. Just like we're going on a trip to America, say, then you have to prepare. You have to get a visa. You have to get a passport. You have to buy a ticket, reservation, so on. But we're going to a biggest journey into death, all of us. Anybody here is not going to die? Yeah, raise your hand. No, everybody's going to. We're going to take a huge trip into death, and we're not prepared. Therefore, the Vedic aphorism, Atata Brahma Jigyasya. Now we have this human form. We should inquire, why do I have to die? What's the purpose of life? Is it simply eating, sleeping, mating, and defending? Are we just polished animals? Or do we have some higher purpose? So the Veda says, yeah, we have a higher purpose. We can, in the human form, we can use this valuable form to qualify to enter into the spiritual world. But instead of it, we just become polished animals, eating, sleeping, mating. Maybe we mate in a waterbed or something, but it's the same business, rubbing genitals. No, we want to rise above the animal propensity. We don't deny sex life, but we want to regulate it. The animals also have their season. They don't just have sex every day. It's regulated by nature. But in human form of life, we have to regulate it ourselves. Otherwise, it becomes a stumbling block. And we just come mad after sex life. We think that's the highest pleasure, which it is materially, it's the highest pleasure. But then if we're remembering that at the time of death, we definitely get another body. So we have a chance to enjoy. Maybe in a dog's body, because they can have sex on the street, nobody will criticize. But you can't do that. So in this way, the dog is more fortunate. He can have sex any place. So if you're thinking that sex life is the goal or the highest thing, then why not be a dog or a pigeon? They're having sex all the time. But no, we should regulate. The human form of life means intelligence, to understand what is going on, what is what. We don't understand who I am, what is the purpose of life. But it behooves us to find out. Otherwise, we spoil this wonderful opportunity. Where am I? At the time of death. Although we may be engaged in the Lord's devotional service in the temple, material conditions are so tough and inevitable that we may forget the Lord at the time of death due to a disease condition or mental derangement. So there's here, Prabhupada is warning us. Even we're living in a temple, we may forget about Krishna. Therefore, we have to focus on remembering Krishna. Focus on hearing Krishna's name. That's our meditation. To hear very carefully the holy name of the Lord. Then we'll naturally be thinking about that at the time of death. Or another way, because we're living in association, we can ask our friends to please come with us at the time of death, when we're at the last stage. Oftentimes we get some warning, right? So then in Iskcon we find the people are on the deathbed, then they're surrounded by other devotees who are chanting. So that gives them a chance to hear. Just like with Srila Prabhupada. We were with him in the last days. In his bed in Vrindavan, the kirtan was always going on. We had small cartels like this. Ching, 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 ching. And we were sitting in the back. We did it in shifts, but Prabhupada wanted the kirtan to go all the time. Only when he was talking. Even when he was sleeping, he wanted it. But if he was talking, we would stop. So that was Prabhupada. But he wanted to hear the holy name. But we can also take advantage of the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. The holy name is available to everybody, and it's very powerful. So we should live in the association of devotees so that our death will be glorious. Prabhupada's death was glorious, surrounded by his disciples. chanting His holy name. This is our goal. We want to die like that. Therefore, we should pray to the Lord to be able to remember His lotus feet without fail at the time of death, when we are in such a precarious condition. In this regard, one may also see Srimad-Bhagavatam 6 to 9, 10, 10, and 14 and 15, which I didn't research, sorry. Okay, so again, there is a great opportunity we have. Everything favorable. How is that? Because we have human form of life. By great good fortune, we've connected with the pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada. He's given us so many instructions. His books are there. All of us can be his Shiksha Guru and remember him and follow in his footsteps. And we can also go back to Godhead. Why not? What is the difficulty? Prabhupada used to say like that. What is the difficulty? Who was it? Wrote a book. Sorry, thing, huh? Krishna Kirti. Shruta Kirti. Yeah, what is the difficulty? Because Prabhupada would often say that. There would always be difficult things, but he would say, so what is the difficulty? As long as you remember Krishna, there's no difficulty. But we forget about Krishna. I won't say his name, but he was a GBC man. I wasn't GBC man. He brought me in front of Prabhupada to criticize me about something. But he lost it. He became disturbed in his mind. And he started, raving with the foam in the mouth. kind of. So anyway, Prabhupada checked him. He said his name. He said, when your mind is this agitated like this, there's no way that Krishna can be in your heart or Krishna can be in your remembrance. So we want a peaceful death. That's ideal. And surrounded by devotees. But of course, because we've done devotional service in this lifetime, all of you have done devotion. You've come here this morning, that's devotional service. Just walking to the temple is a devotional service. Ambarish used to describe to us the different ways that we can serve Krishna. So one of the ways is walking to the temple. Then that'll be noted. Krishna is keeping the record. Yes, he's my devotee. He's approaching me. So that will never be lost. Whatever we do in Krishna's service, that will be our spiritual bank balance. That never is reduced. We may not fill it to the top, so that we may have to come back in another lifetime to keep going. But still, whatever little bit you do, that remains your eternal credit. And when you take it up again, you start from that point. Again, Krishna doesn't force us. People will say, well, why doesn't just Krishna come and pull it? No, because he's a loving person. He doesn't appreciate force. When it comes to love is voluntary. We have to love him. Then he'll appreciate. Then he reciprocates. The more we love him, the more he reciprocates. Yayatama prapadyante tam satami vajamiham. As we surrender, he reciprocates. And that surrendering is in our hand because it's based on desire. By desire, we've come to the material world. We thought we had an advantage here. So by desire, we can go back to the spiritual world. So nobody can check our desire. Desire is the symptom of the soul. You can desire one of the symptoms. The other is, of course, the soul is active. So we can desire to go back to Godhead, and that will give us a chance to do it. Nobody can stop us if we desire. So let me tell a little bit about Srila Prabhupada. In the last days, we were fortunate to be there. Once he called me and I was chanting. I generally was chanting with a group of chanters, and but then I got sick. I got a really bad mucus and coughing, and so I didn't come into Prabhupada's room for 4 or 5 days. Then when I came back, Prabhupada he couldn't see too well, but he could hear, and his consciousness was pure. So he heard my singing, and he said, "Oh, you are still here." So immediately I felt bad. He thought I had left him. I Prabhupada, how could I think of leaving you in this condition? I'm your disciple, and but then Prabhupada adopted a mood of like he was the only one who wasn't a devotee. That was his mood. Everybody else was a devotee, but he was just trouble for us, which of course is not true. But that Mahabhagavat may think like that. Everybody's a devotee except me. So Prabhupada generally never adopted that mood, but in this instance he did. He said, I'm simply a botheration. I'm keeping you young boys here. You have to take care of me. So he was breaking my heart because it wasn't like that at all. So he was intentionally breaking my heart. That's his right. He's my guru. He can treat me roughly in his embrace or make me brokenhearted by not being present before me. So he was feeling that's thing that everybody else was serving Krishna, but he was interfering with their service because we had to be with him and when he was leaving his body. So then at that time, he told me, call the others, means call the other leading devotees. There were Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Bhakti True Maharaj, and others were there, and GVCs. So I called them, Prabhupada wants to speak to you. So they came. Maybe 6 or 7 men. And then Prabhupada started saying, I don't want to stay like this. I'm simply a botheration on you. I want to go on a bullock's cart and go around, prick around Govardhan Hill, because it was just coming time for Govardhan Hill. But the devotees were saying, Prabhupada, the doctor thinks it's not a good idea because it'll be so rough. And I asked him, Prabhupada, where will we stay at night? Now is a cold season. So what did Prabhupada say? We can stay under a tree. I said, under a tree is not going to be warm. I didn't say that, but I was thinking that. But Prabhupada, he was serious. And Lokanath Swami asked me to come with him. We went to Mathura and we brought a bullocks because he was running a bullocks party, so he knew how to. So we brought the bullocks and the driver, and they came. They were waiting out near Prabhupada's room, so he was ready to go. But then what happened was, I was sitting in Prabhupada's room, like on the floor, and one of Prabhupada's godbrothers, Krishnadas Babaji, what's his name? He was slight Bengali. He was sitting on Prabhupada's bed. He was Prabhupada's godbrother. And he was telling us, it's amazing how his consciousness is so clear. Prabhupada's consciousness was so clear. Even at the last day, he was able to chastise us and encourage us. He was doing what he always did. So we were sitting like that, and Kaviraj was sitting, Krishnadas Babaji, that was his name. He was sitting on Prabhupada's bed, and then suddenly, in an emotional way, 2 devotees came in, Bhakti True and Bhavananda, and they were, emotional, and they said, Srila Prabhupada, Tamal Krishna is in his room, he's very upset that you're going to go on Parikaram. So Tamal was like our leader, he was like very intelligent, and he would take this step. He would be bold. He would be a leader. Of course, sometimes it got him in trouble. I was there once when Prabhupada chastised him because of being too bold. But anyway, he certainly loved Prabhupada, and he was upset that Prabhupada was going to go on the bullock's cart in that condition. And so he had told the others to go tell Prabhupada that I'm very upset. Sometimes he dealt with Prabhupada like that, almost like an equal. I'll give you another example with Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Prabhupada told his servant, call Tamal Krishna Maharaj, because he was the secretary in those days. Call him to come to my room. So they went to Tamal, and he was just sitting down to have prasadam. So I would have just left the prasadam and run to Prabhupada's room, right? But Tamal said, tell Prabhupada I'm just taking prasadam. And he went and told Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, oh, that's good. Let him finish prasadam. So they had a unique relationship. Prabhupada had a lot of respect for him. He was so smart. Really smart. Jewish guy, right? In America, we think the Jews are very intelligent, generally they are. So he was really smart. And anyway, he was there and he had sent these two. And so Prabhupada said, I didn't want to cause this disturbance. Okay, if you don't want me to go, I won't go. So he didn't go. The box cart was there when it was returned back to the Mathura, I guess the driver was there with it. But that's an interesting story, that how Prabhupada was thinking about us and concerned that he was inconveniencing us. Of course, it wasn't like that. We were happy to chant in his room and to do. It was like the spiritual world. It was, and hearing from Prabhupada in those days too. He was preaching. Like one, he was complaining that where are all the leaders? Why they're not here? Some of them had gone back to their service because Prabhupada was ill for a couple of months, so they didn't want to miss their service, so they had left and to go back. And then, but Prabhupada wanted them. He said, I want them all to be here. So they all came, but then after a couple of weeks, again they left, like that. And then Prabhupada was annoyed, like one devotee. He left, leading devotee. Actually, it was Jayapataka Maharaj. And he had to do business in Calcutta. So he went, and he had come back, and then Prabhupada was speaking like that. And so Jayapataka Maharaj said, Prabhupada, I had to go to Calcutta to do some service. Prabhupada said, that's okay. But even when you're here, you're not here. Meaning, he wanted people to be in his room with him. And sometimes, Jayapataka Maharaj was busy doing this. So anyway, it's a small thing, but that was Prabhupada's mood. He wanted us all to be there. He wanted us all to be ready to do whatever he wanted, like go on a bullock's cart or something. So that was Prabhupada's, up to the last. And I don't mean to imply in any way that Jayapataka Maharaj was wrong. He was there, and sometimes he was saying, I heard him say to Prabhupada, well, why not leave your body in Mayapur? He was trying to get body, because that was his project. Mayapur is world headquarters. But Prabhupada left his body in Vrindavan. We all know that. His samadhi is there. And how many of you have been to Prabhupada's samadhi? Srila Prabhupada ki. You can still feel his presence. He was the real thing, the empowered pure devotee, acharya, not ordinary conditioned soul. And we were all very fortunate to have connected with him. It's the greatest good fortune. That verse is there. The living entity is wandering in the universe. After so many millions of births, by great good fortune, we may meet a pure devotee. So all of you have also met. Prabhupada is there through his books. So this is your great good fortune. So when you have a great good fortune, you should take advantage of it. If you just don't use it, what is the use? So use this great good fortune. You've connected with Prabhupada. Become very serious about devotional service. Learn how to chant with attention and devotion. And your future is very bright. Thank you very much. Any questions? We finished the purport, right?
Hare Krishna, devotees, those who have question, you can raise your hand. The mic will come to you.
Yeah, I see some. I can't see if they're raising their hand or not. Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dhanvat Pranam. So Maharaj, before asking question, I would like to say one word about you. So morning you have you did Mangalarti, then Guru Puja. The one thing I like your voice so much. It is so melodious, so sweet. It is like a 5 years old boy. Your voice. It is so melodious, Prabhuji. So attractive, Prabhuji. So
I learned how to sing in Iskcon. I never sang before.
Maharaj. So Maharaj, my question is, you have said that if you have desire to go to to go back to Godhead, then we'll definitely go. So my question is, our desire is not constant.
Yeah.
It is
If we die when it's not constant, then we don't go back to God.
it is changing day by day. Even though we are chanting, we are doing sadhana, but if we go outside the world, a lot of distraction is coming in the form of Maya. So we are distracting. It is not constant, it is changing. So how to maintain consistency in our desire?
Again, that's based on our desire. If we really want to be Krishna conscious, then we can go outside and remember Krishna. Why are we outside? We're doing some work for Krishna. The devotee once said that to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I'd like to stay with you in a room. This is like in 1970 in Seattle. But because when I go outside, it's summertime. The women are not dressed properly. I get agitated, Prabhupada. So I want to stay in the room with you. So Prabhupada said, no. When you go outside, you should think, why am I outside? I have a mission. Just like Hanuman had a mission. He kept that in the front. He wanted to give a message to Sita. He saw so many half-naked women that he wasn't at least bit deviated because he had his mission. So you go outside, that's all right, but still the mission is there. The mission is to benefit Iskcon. This is Prabhupada's movement. So you keep that mission in the front to please Prabhupada, and then even you may be tempted, but you can pass over these obstacles. That's the only solution, because otherwise it's artificial. If we think we're just going to, always remain in the temple, and we have to meet women. Women are coming to the temple also. If you're so agitated, you can't avoid. We have to get a higher taste. Param jistana vartate. When you get a higher taste, then it's not difficult to give up this rubbing genital business, which is so prominent in this world. That's okay?
Yes, Maharaj.
Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, it's so inspiring that you are serving Krishna for 50 years and plus. Thank you, Prabhuji. And one question is, Maharajji, I have one question that when we go outside place in the world, when we work and we go to home, we come around many people that they are not Krishna, they are not bhaktas. So how to keep detached from that people from inside and be Krishna bhakta and thinking about Krishna always?
Similar question. Yeah. So one thing is we can preach. We can go outside to preach, and then we're giving Krishna. We won't be affected by their association. We're giving our association. We're fired up to preach. Like I was in Japan, every day we'd go out. 7 days a week. On Sunday we did half a day. It was 6.5 days. For the full day. And we were going out with this book in Japanese. I didn't know Japanese language, but we knew enough to stop people. There were crowds of people. And give them a book and ask for a donation. And like this we sold so many. My quota was like every day 250 books. And that was going on for 3 years. We sold like 50,000. So then you couldn't find, because you really had a mission out there. You were trying to distribute Prabhupada's book. So even the women were coming, and it didn't bother you because, although quite frankly, I did generally avoid giving a book to the woman because it's a natural attraction is there, right? But sometimes I was so fired up, it didn't matter. Anyway, this is Maya's test. Her duty is to test us. Do we want her or do we want Krishna? And we have to pass that test. Each one of us individually, we have to fly our solo flight into death. Nobody's going with us. Of course, Krishna is there, super soul, but we are going, individual soul is going into death by himself. Therefore, we should prepare. That's what we're doing. That's how I introduced this talk. We should prepare for death. Atata brahmajigyasya. Now we should get ready because we're certainly going to die. So there's no easy way. tax your brain. If you're sincere, Krishna will help you. He'll give you the intelligence how you can avoid Maya. Maya is not as attractive as Krishna, but we have to distinguish what is Maya and what is Krishna. Sometimes that becomes a little difficult. What is favorable for devotional service, what is unfavorable. But generally that's pretty clear. Prabhupada used to say, this Krishna consciousness is as clear as the blue sky. So blue sky, then it's very clear. So it should be clear to us what is pleasing to Krishna, what is not pleasing to Krishna. Then we can be in any situation. Because otherwise the question is similar to the one that he just asked. Anyone else? Yeah. Right here. Microphone?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you so much for the class. Maharaj, when you were describing about Srila Prabhupada, like I felt very close to how to Prabhupada. And you also told ki Prabhupada is present in his books. But while reading books, that somehow that closeness is not felt while hearing like disciples of Prabhupada. So how can we develop that that we can feel Prabhupada's presence in his books also more?
No, it's a fact. There's two kinds of association. There's Vani and Vapu. So Vani is the most important. That's instructions. Prabhupada's instructions are there. But Vapu, for me, it was important also. Vapu means the body and things related to the body. We could touch Prabhupada's feet. We could eat the remnants of his food that he left. Sometimes we'd fight over orange peels that Prabhupada left on his plate. So that's there. That's called Vapu. So you don't have that association. But then you have your own gurus. You can associate with them. They're not at the same level as Prabhupada, but they're also senior to you. So you can touch their feet and serve their body. That will help you. Otherwise, what to do? It's not, the Vani, again, is the most important. Prabhupada's instructions are there for everybody. Chant Hare Krishna. Follow four regular principles. Associate with each other. So that's open for everybody for the next 10,000 years. We were in the car from Los Angeles on a morning walk. And Prabhupada coming back from the morning walk. The three sannyasis were in the back and Prabhupada and the driver in the front. And we came upon the devotees in a different direction. They didn't see us coming. And Prabhupada saw them. They were all going on the street waiting for Prabhupada to come. The children had dhotis and the girls had saris and everybody was there. And suddenly Prabhupada spoke from his heart. He spoke with full conviction. He said, they cannot check this movement. This movement will go unchecked for the next 10,000 years. So that's what Prabhupada himself said, and I heard it. So we just remain next to Iskcon, keep yourself in good graces, and then the boat will be carried. Of course, you have to want to remain on the boat. That means you have to cooperate. That's what Prabhupada's last instruction was, cooperate together. So cooperate for pushing on this movement, that's required. But that's easy. Why not cooperate? We need help. Alone I can't, who is it says? Alone I can't carry on the Sankirtan movement of the Lord. No, we need help. Sankirtan means many. Nobody, I mean sometimes we do, but generally we go out with a group of people. Sometimes in Hong Kong I used to go out by myself to chant Hare Krishna. And it's better than nothing. Okay, anyone else? Or maybe we should stop. Is it time? We should stop. Okay.
Yeah, thank you for the speech, Prabhu. Yeah,
Hare Krishna.
yeah. Have you ever feel to go to Google like that in your service from 15 years? Yeah, have you ever feel that reaching to Google like that? Hello? Yeah. yeah, Krishna, Godhead feeling going to reach Godhead in your service. Is that a belief or that
Yeah, that's why I'm in this movement. I have that desire. But we should be careful that there was a group of devotees in the early days. They were only reading Prabhupada's books about the gopis, and they called themselves Gopi Baba Club. And they were only focused on the gopis. They wanted to be a gopi and so on. But Prabhupada didn't like that. He said, first of all, deserve, then desire. So they're imagining that they're gopis. We shouldn't think, what is our rasa with Krishna prematurely. That will be revealed to us because that's our original position. Whether it's a cowherd boy or gopi or parental, that will be revealed to us in due course. So we should just be happy and chant Hare Krishna, cooperate with everybody, and these things will all be revealed to us in due time when we're qualified. Otherwise, it's not a good sign if we're just thinking about the Rasa Leela and that Krishna having, dancing with the gopis. First of all, we have to understand we're not this body. Prabhupada gave the example that if a child, 7 or 8 year old boy, is preoccupied with sex life, we think this is strange because he's not mature. Why is he always talking about sex life? Something wrong is there. So similarly, we're not mature. If we're always talking about the gopis and how we want to dance with the gopis, and it's first of all, deserve, Prabhupada said. First of all, deserve to be on that level. Then you should desire. So we're in a deserving process. We want to qualify ourselves that Krishna will see us. Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta also said, don't try to see Krishna, act in such a way that Krishna will see you. That should be our mood. And Krishna will see you, and he'll appreciate, he'll reciprocate. That's a fact. Okay, we're going to stop now. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki,
Hare
Srila Prabhupada
Krishna.
ki. The next program is at 11 o'clock?
Hare Krishna. So, His Holiness Trivikram Swami Maharaj ki jai. So, Maharaj has written a very beautiful book called Priceless Moment with Pure Devotee. It is all Maharaj interactions with Srila Prabhupada. I was seeing this thing that from 1969 to 1977, 68 to 1977, Maharaj had interactions with Srila Prabhupada. Well, after that, so Srila Prabhupada personally said about him, he will always go wherever I send him. So Prabhupada glorified His Holiness Trivikram Swami Maharaj. Also in one of the letter to Shatadhanya Prabhu in 1973, I am very much glad to hear that you have decided to return to Japan and help Trivikram Maharaj. I have heard from Trivikram that they are distributing large amount of BTGs there in Tokyo, 500 to 1000 per day. So, as Maharaj telling, he doesn't know, he was not knowing Japanese, but still he was distributing books. So, Maharaj has been so much obedient and loyal to Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada's movement. And this is a very, very beautiful book Maharaj has written. It is just 200 rupees. And Maharaj is here it is priceless, but the printing cost is just 200 rupees. So devotees can come and they can take this beautiful book by Maharaj hand.
This book has been well received by all the senior Vaishnavas in Iskcon and all the Maharajas and Prabhupada disciples. Maharaj has personally signed it. So I request all the devotees to kindly avail this opportunity and have a copy for yourself. You can also take for your friends. Hare Krishna. Devotees can